Only 6 races left to go here in the 2025 Turkey Hill Truck Series season. And as we venture into the final third of the season, the championship battle has been flipped on its head after a wild turn of events at the Pocono Mountains 200 just last time out. And now Matthew Hubert enters the final 6 races as your points leader by 7 points over Aaron Abel, 10 points to who was your points leader, Andrew Williams, 18 points to Blaine Keys, and 19 to Nicholas Samadillo. Still got a lot of drivers right up there in championship contention here in these final couple races of the season. And we are here tonight at a racetrack where just about anything can happen. We don't really know what to expect out of this racetrack, but always usually produces some very fun racing. We are here at the Iowa Speedway here in Newton, Iowa for 50 laps around this racetrack here under the lights here for the 13th race of the Turkey Hill Truck Series season. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the KC's 200 here at the Iowa Speedway. What's going on, everybody? Caleb here, and welcome to the KC's 200 here at the Iowa Speedway, race 13 of the 2025 Turkey Hill Truck Series season. And like I mentioned, we're into the final 6 races of the season. And like I said, especially after last week's events, the championship battle has really gotten shaken up and really condensed up, as well as Andrew Williams ended up coming home in the 36th position, lost the points lead, fell down to 3rd, and pretty much opened up the door for a lot of drivers, as we now got 10 drivers within 40 points of each other. So man, we still got a lot of drivers with a shot at this title as we venture into the final couple races of the season, and definitely going to be interesting to see how everything shakes up here tonight from the Iowa Speedway. We have seen quite the few chaotic moments at this racetrack, especially the pit sequence here can be very chaotic, both on and off pit lane. So it could definitely throw a wrench into things here tonight. We'll have to wait and see how it all ends up shaking out, but it definitely still ought to be a fun one here tonight from the Iowa Speedway. And joining alongside me up here in the booth is Matt Tuck, back up here once again. Thank you so much for joining me up here in the booth once again. And like I said, I had a lot of shakeups last week at the Pocono Raceway, and oh boy, this is definitely going to be a very interesting championship battle as we venture into these final couple races of the season. But you've got Blaine Keys right there pretty much in the thick of the championship battle, with Rogel Dorn a little bit further back, but still probably within a shot at a championship if he can nail down some good runs here in the final couple races of the season. However, while Rogel Dorn does have a decent starting position here today, Blaine Keys starting towards the back of the grid, along with some of our other championship contenders like Andrew Williams, Nicholas Samadillo, Tyler Jericho. These guys did not have a good qualifying session, starting towards the back of the field here tonight. So what do your guys need to do, and what do those guys that are starting towards the back need to do? They want to have a shot at potentially making their way up towards the front of the field and salvaging a good night here at the Iowa Speedway.
Yeah, I think it should be an interesting one here at Iowa. Obviously, we dropped the ball again on qualifying, which isn't ideal, but such has been this season. There's a lot of chaos that's unfolded. Obviously, you talked about a few moments ago, but there's a dozen drivers who easily could leave here tonight in the championship hunt. There's 10 within a race of each other. So, it's 6 races to go. There's opportunities there for somebody is going to be able to seize the moment, and you're not even going to need a whole 6-race mega run. With the way the season's gone, you get hot for 3 races. And you could be in the driver's seat, but it should be fun here tonight. The last time I was in the booth, I think, was Dover on a short track, and we all know how that went down. So, if that's any indication, oh boy, this is going to be something.
For sure, and like you're kind of talking about, we've seen a lot of parity so far throughout this season, but still, we've seen a lot of these drivers consistently fighting up towards the front. But if some of these guys can have a good couple of runs here in these final couple races of the season, they might definitely put themselves in a good position to fight for the championship once everything is said and done. But regardless of the fact, it's definitely going to be really interesting to see how these final couple races go and how this championship ends up shaking out, because we have seen a lot of great drivers duking it out this season for a chance at the championship. And still got a couple races left here to go. Definitely, potentially a couple shakeups left inbound. I have to see how it all ends up shaking out, but it has been a fun season here so far, and we still got a third of it left to go. Going to be exciting to see how it all plays out, but I'm excited to see how this race here tonight plays out here from the Iowa Speedway. Like I said, don't really know what to expect out of this racetrack. We'll just have to wait and see how it all plays out here after 50 laps around the Iowa Speedway. But really quickly, we'll take a quick look here at your point standings coming into race number 13 of the season. After a wild outing at the Pocono Raceway, like I mentioned, it's Matthew Hubert now at the top of the points charts. He has a 7-point gap back to now second in points. Aaron Abel coming in only 7 points behind. Like mentioned, Andrew Williams, third in points, now comes in 10 points back. Blaine Keys comes in fourth, 18 points back. Sam Dio comes in fifth, 19 back. Duncan Ward is 6th, 20 back. Isaac Nichols, your winner at Pocono, jumps up to 7th in points, 30 back. Joe Rakowski comes in 8th in points, 31 back. Jericho is 9th, 36 points back. Rogaldorn rounds out your top 10 in points, 37 points behind Matthew Hubert. So all those guys, they can have some good run too. They still might potentially have a shot at this championship. Like I said, don't really know what to expect in these next couple of races, but we'll just have to wait and see how it all ends up shaking out in this final third of the season and here tonight in the KC's 200 here at the Iowa Speedway. But with all that being said, I think it's about time we get these guys rolling here from the Iowa Speedway, and as they do, we'll take a quick look here at your starting lineup here for the KC's 200 here from the Iowa Speedway. Of course, starting on the pole position, we have the number 72 Triad Racing Ram of Joe Rakowski, starting alongside the number 24 of Duncan Ward. Row 2, we have the 61 of Nathan Stapleton, so a good outing qualifying for Triad Racing. Starting alongside the Broken Boys Garage Machine of Logan Williams. Row number 3, we have the 06 of Skep Silver, starting alongside the 69 of Jeffrey Finguy. Row 4, it's the number 42 of Andrew Miller and the 93 of Jack Haas. And rounding out your top 10, we have the 43 of Emily Debanetti, starting alongside the number 39 of Leonard Kochmer. As these guys get rolling off the pit lane, race report, of course, will be on the bottom left-hand side of your screen. But Matt, I gotta ask you, who's your pick to go to victory lane here tonight in the KC's 200 here from Iowa?
Dun, 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 dun. I suppose I should lock in with this pick. You know what? I'm gonna go Skep Silver. I think he's been close. I know he's been close. And I think the way the season's going, somebody is gonna sneak into this picture and give me Skep Silver to sneak into that picture here tonight with a win.
Okay, Skep has looked relatively quick in multiple occasions so far this season. Almost got that win in Michigan, but unfortunately, just wasn't enough fuel in the tank for that 06 car. Maybe he can get redemption here tonight here at the Iowa Speedway. Just have to wait and see how it all ends up shaking out. But here we go. Pace Truck's going to make the left-in turn to the pit lane. It's going to be Joe Rakowski and Duncan Ward leading the field to the green flag. We are racing here in the KC's 200 here from the Iowa Speedway. How about Nathan Stapleton, third to first in the opening lap? Stapleton takes the lead away here on lap 1 of the Iowa Speedway. Duncan Ward in the 24 from outside pole back to the inside for the second position. Joe Rakowski going to fall back to third in the number 72. And we got quite the hornet's nest back through here as everybody's jostling for position here in the early stages of this race. We got multiple instances of 3 wide, and be careful here down the front straightaway. Might see some cars get into that outside wall. 14 Ludovic Charette gonna pretty much ride it all the way down the front straightaway. They do just kind of get to the wall like that. Should be no harm, no foul, but have to wait and see how the rest of this race plays. Don't want to hit that wall too hard, or you might get yourself some damage that might need to be repaired once we do get to that cycle of pit stops. But Nathan Stapleton in the 61 currently out in front as the caution flag is out for the number 73 of LJ Semedo. Down the back straightaway, it looks like it was just the 73. But already our first caution of the night here early on in the going here in the KC's 200 from the Iowa Speedway.
Yeah, that was a lot going on there on that opening stint, but I mean that was a great opening lap there, but opening few laps by Nathan Stapleton. Joe Rutkowski just didn't get the truck to fire off there up the jump, lost a couple spots. He's not out of position here too bad, so I mean he's obviously still in contention to win the race. Jeffrey Finguy has been unbelievable on these short ovals the past few times out. Gotta give a shout out to him here, but. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna be in for a race here if that opening stint was anything to show for.
That was an indicator how this race might go. Might want to pull those belts a little bit tighter because that was absolutely wild to start this race out. But they still got a long ways left to go here in the Casey's 200 here from the Iowa Speedway, and still anything can happen. We'll just have to wait and see how it all ends up shaking out here from the Iowa Speedway. But really quickly, we'll take a quick glance at what brought out our first caution of the night. And we'll get you all back to the racing action here in the KC's 200, here from the Iowa Speedway. Taking a look here at our first caution of the evening here at the Iowa Speedway, following along with the number 73 of LJ Semedo. And we put on the outside of 3 wide as Blaine Keys, looking to try and make up some ground early, accidentally gets into the quarter panel of the 73 of Semedo and going to turn him down the back straight away. And Semedo going to take a pretty sizable lick here on the passenger side of the inside wall. Bang! Goes that 73 T-Mobile Ram of LJ Semedo. A real fortunate break there for Semedo. Going around here down the back straightaway, but it was just a simple one-car spin here to bring out the first caution of the night, but definitely not what Hallie Anderson Jr. and LJ Semedo wanted to see.
Well, you know, I mean, things happen sometimes. Things happen sometimes, you know, at short tracks. And a little Rubbins racing, you know, good old short track racing never hurt anybody too badly, but definitely not the move that you want to see out of Blaine there. I'm glad Igor was able to drive away from it, but definitely not what we wanted to get caught up here on early in the race when we needed to come through the field.
Definitely not the start of the race that LJ Semedo or Blaine Keys wanted there. But ours is the fact that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes, especially here at these short tracks. But, like I said, it was just a spin there of the 73 of LJ Semedo, so he will be able to continue and stay on the lead lap. But, under our first caution of the night here at the Iowa Speedway, and going back to the green flag, it's going to be the number 61 of Nathan Stapleton. Going to lead us back to the green flag. But let's get you all back to your live picture here at the Casey's 200 here from the Iowa Speedway, and we'll get you all back to the restart. Welcome back here to the Casey's 200 here from the Iowa Speedway, wrapping up our first caution of the evening for LJ Semedo in the 73, going around on the back straightaway. Looks to just be a simple car spin, however, so all 36 cars still in this race, all 36 still on the lead lap. Going back green here on lap number 8 of 50, and the 61 of Nathan Stapleton, who fired off really well there on that start. Going to lead the field back here to the green flag. You got Duncan Ward there in the second position. Skip Silver with a good start up to third. Rutkowski sitting there in fourth. Logan Williams fifth. Jeffrey Finguy in sixth. Seventh is the 42 of Andrew Miller. Eighth is the 18 of Philip Torres. How about David Dixon in the 58? Got a good jump there off the start. He's going to roll off here in the ninth position. And Bruno Giacomo in the 5, going to round out your top 10. Here we go. Nathan Stapleton going to lead the field off of turn number 4. Pace car back down into the pit lane. And here we go. We're back. Green flag racing here in the Casey's 200 here at the Iowa Speedway. Stapleton leads them into turn number 1.
Oh, you can't do that and get away with it for too much with Duncan Ward. And he's going to open the door, and here comes the 24 of Duncan Ward. Can't clear him, though. This is going to get fun here, and I know Duncan's chopping at the bit here. Loves to use his bumper. Oh, here we go again.
These guys bunched up here on this restart, but Stapleton was able to slam the door there just in time on the 24th Duncan Ward before he was able to get to the inside, and Stapleton trying to pull away now from that 24 machine. Logan Williams dives to the inside of Joe Rutkowski there in the 72. Jeffrey Finguy also looking to take advantage. Cassidy not firing off well here on these short runs, and once again he continues to slip back in that 72. Have to see what he could potentially do on the long run, but as of now, definitely looks like that car is not suited up for the short run. As now the 42 Andrew Miller trying to take a peek to the inside. Finn Guy taking a peek to the inside of the 10 of Logan Williams. And Stapleton slipped up a little bit there in turn number 4. Duncan Ward trying to close the gap once again. Skep Silver and the 06 is all over the back bumper of this 24. Ward slips up just a little bit, but got a good run off the corner. He's all over the back bumper of the 61 and Nathan Stapleton. Stapleton leaves the door open, and here comes Duncan Ward to the inside.
He didn't even have to fully use the bumper to get him out of the way, and that's not going to work well for Stapleton because Skep Silver in the 06 is going to follow Duncan Ward through to second place. And remember, PDE...
Oh, he's going to go to the lead!
The 06, here he goes for the lead off the bumper of the 24. Unbelievable stuff by Skep here early in the going. Now Stapleton crosses back over. What a battle for the lead here early on.
What a move out of the 06 of Skep Silver. He gets to the inside. Duncan Ward caught the wall there going into turn number 1. Here comes Stapleton looking to try maybe get the lead back. He's got a run. He's peeking to the inside. Coming into turn number 3. He will get to the inside. And we're side by side for the race lead once again. Silver really driving it in. He's in the wall. Off of turn number 4. Pretty much just a brush there. No, should be no harm, no foul. And here comes Jeffrey Finn Guy in the 69 looking to get on this action for the race lead. He's now up to 3rd. Logan Williams holding on to 5th right now. Here comes the 42 of Andrew Miller. Here comes the 58 of David Dixon to the inside of the 18 of Philip Torres for the 7th position. Jack Haas the 93, and here comes your points leader, Matthew Hubert, looking to try and make his way here inside the top 10. He moves the 93 of Jack Haas up the racetrack. Roble Dorn, the 2 machine, also looking to try and follow suit. Looking further on back here, Andrew Williams is on the move in the 11. He's made up quite a couple of positions. He's now up into 17th. Look further on back, Jericho, Keys, and Samadillo also looking to try and make slow and steady progress. Move 3 wide. Joe Rakowski in the 72 continuing to fall back. He gets squeezed in the outside wall by Emily Dibonetti in the 43. Venturing back onto the front of the field, Nathan Stapleton continues to hold on to the lead, but he's got a mirror full of Duncan Ward, who's not letting that 61 get away.
Oh, is he going to bump the 61? Stapleton holds it in the corner. How about Jeffrey Finn Guy? I didn't have this on my bingo, the Jeffrey Finn Guy hero run the past few weeks, but he's been on an absolute heater here. Skep's truck looks like he might have burned the tires up a little bit here, but I mean, if you can stay in the front of this pack here, you're not going to be out of it with how close these guys are. And we know tire deg here does come into a bit of effect, maybe not as much for trucks as it does for Cup, but keep an eye out too, though. You talked about Andrew Williams working his way through the field. Matthew Huber's the points leader, so where he's running is, oh my goodness, we're going 3 by 3 wide at Iowa. Bang off the wall goes Torres. Oh, please don't go 4 wide. Please don't go 4 wide. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
That was a hard shot to the outside wall for Torres. That's going to gain him some damage right there.
Yeah, that was a big shot, almost in front of his teammate too. Not where you want to be, but Andrew's moving through the field. Hubert has moved through the field. I will say, in a season that doesn't feel like it's had a runaway, you know, we talk about Daniel Pauls Jr. and Duncan Ward and their championship performances across the season in Cup. Oh, never mind. We'll get back to that later. For the lead. For the lead. All right, on cue, here comes Ward.
Ward to the inside once again for the race lead, side by side. Down the front straightaway, down to turn number 1. Ward going to have the preferred line. And will take the race lead away. Finn Guy trying to take the challenge to the 61 of Stapleton. Stapleton going to fend him off here for the time being. And all these guys right up one against... right against one another, as pretty much every driver has a mirror full of the other, but Duncan Ward in the 24 now up to the race lead, trying to pull away from Stapleton now. Logan Williams to the inside of Skep Silver, looking to try and take that 4th position away. And shout out to the 42, Andrew Miller, having a good run here tonight so far, running in the 6th position. Matthew Hubert, though, in the 52. That thing looks like it's fired up here as he's up into the 7th position, trying to give chase to the 42 of Andrew Miller. Rogaldor in the 2, right now sitting in the 8th position. David Dixon, the 58, still up here inside of the top 10, but here comes the 43 of DeBenedetti, and here comes the 11 of Andrew Williams, looking to try and make his way here inside of the top 10. Closing in on halfway home here at the Iowa Speedway, and Duncan Ward has the race lead, and he is pulling away from the 61 of Nathan Stapleton.
Again, we saw Ward at IRP put down a beatdown, and he gets out front here, and I will say the pace of this 24 truck at times, it goes missing, but then when it is on, it's unbelievable, which is kind of scary heading down the stretch of the season. And there are some tracks that what we're seeing out of this 24 truck and where he's really fast, you know, there are some tracks coming down the stretch here that I would definitely be scared of, because he just put 4 10s on Nathan Stapleton that lap. Just judging by my 2 eyeballs that I have, he's going to put another 4 10s on Nathan Stapleton this lap. Maybe more, I don't know. Oh, actually the gap went down. I wasn't expecting that. But keep an eye out for this 24 truck the next few weeks. But hey, keep an eye out for Jeffrey Finn guy, the way he's been balling out. I mean, who knows? The way this season's going, who knows? Anything could happen.
Absolutely. Like I said, this has been an absolutely wild season of Turkey Hill Truck Series competition, and honestly, at this point, we really don't know who we might see fighting for a championship at Homestead and who will walk away with it all until the checkered flag does fly there on Christmas Day. But regardless, it has been an absolute blast so far this season. Definitely really excited to see how these final couple of races will go, and tonight has absolutely delivered a spectacular showing here so far from the Iowa Speedway. Jeffrey Finn guy all over the back bumper of the 61 of Nathan Stapleton, trying to find a way around. Duncan Ward in the 24, continuing to try and pull away once again from Nathan Stapleton, and Jeffrey Finguy still just trying to look for a way around. Finguy might have something for Duncan Ward if he can find his way around the 61, but so far that's proven to be a little bit harder performed than said.
Yeah, it's a hard track to pass here. It's a hard track to pass here when the tires wear. I don't fully know, you know, maybe if we, you know, great idea here. Maybe if we ground down the upper middle lane here and put some new pavement in, and then made like the bottom lane repaved it, but only did it like halfway through the corner, maybe that would fix it. I don't know. Maybe that'll make the right. I don't know. But yeah, no, I mean it's tough to pass here. We've seen it a lot of times with the trucks on the short tracks. When the tires start to wear out, it can become very, very challenging to make an overtake. But so it makes the pit stops a lot of fun. Is, you know, you're gonna get some strategy here of you want to be quick down pit road, and you don't want to be making mistakes here. But somebody's not making mistakes right now is the 24 Duncan Ward. I mean, he's holding that lead, he's growing that lead, and you know, he's kind of building that buffer where if he gets undercut, it's not gonna hurt him.
Duncan Ward, and speaking of pit stops, here comes the 24 Duncan Ward.
Oh boy.
Down the pit lane, he pulled a 2-second gap on the 61 of Stapleton, who's going to come in as well, along with Jeffrey Finguy, Skep Silver, Logan Williams. Going to try and stretch it long, and like I said, pit cycles here at the Iowa Speedway can get pretty chaotic, so this will definitely be a bit of a tense time for everyone, especially that 24 Duncan Ward trying to undercut a lot of these guys. Matthew Hubert in the 52 is in as well, along with Jack Hawes. So you all comes down the pit lane this time around. Silver and Logan stay out once again. The 42 of Andrew Miller is going to come in with Giacomo and Andrew Williams. Yeah, we got a couple cars trying to stretch it along. Blaine Keys in the one has a little bit of damage, it looks like, to the right side of that Celsius Team Velocistar machine. Here on the lap number 33, here comes Skep Silver, Logan Williams, Orgel Dornall down the pit lane. Kowski looks like he's going to come down as well. So is Tyler Jericho. There's the 24 of Duncan Ward merging back onto the racetrack. Nathan Stapleton behind him. There's Jeffrey Finguy. Matthew Hubert must have had a pretty quick stop. He's coming out right behind his teammate, Jeffrey Finguy. We'll have to see how everything cycles out here on the pit lane. We'll look at this group being led off, I believe, by the 18 of Philip Torres. Have to see where all these guys cycle out. Right now, they're ahead of the 61 and Nathan Stapleton. They jump, not entirely sure. We'll have to see when the scoring updates. Here's all the guys that performed an overcut led by the 06 of Skep Silver. See where he
Bruno
comes out
Giacomo,
onto
second.
the racetrack. He's
Oh my
looking
goodness.
to maybe overcut the 24 award. Ward's going to have the momentum built up, and here he comes off of turn number 4 on the back bumper of the 06 of Skep Silver. But yeah, looks like everything has cycled out, and Skep Silver is your race leader, with Duncan Ward in second, Bruno Giacomo in third. Nathan Stapleton is up to 4th. Andrew Williams is up into 5th. 6th is going to be the 10 of Logan Williams. We're battling for 7th between the two Durrani racing cars. And you have the 43 of Emily DeBenetti and the 93 of Jack Cause. The 97 of Tyler Jericho has made his way all the way up to 11th. How about that for the 97 of Tyler Jericho? Now look where some of your other championship contenders are. Nicholas Sambadio comes out in 19th. There's 72 of Joe Rutkowski coming out in the 21st position. And Blinky's probably had to repair that damage that we saw. He's down to 32nd. And Rogel Dorn, I think, had a slow pit stop in the 2. He's 35th, a lap down. Along with Philip Torres and Laura Chung. Really hate to see that for you, Matt.
And, I mean, kind of story of the year. It's amazing one week. It's terrible the next. It's the two trucks can never seem to get the whole thing on the same page this year, which is unfortunate because I think this might be our best lineup that we've assembled. No disrespect to Ladovic. But yeah, this is fun. Skep Silver, I didn't think the overcut was going to work here, but Skep Silver's got the race lead. I don't know for how long, though. He's going to need to do some unbelievable driving to hold this 24 at bay, because we saw how fast Duncan Ward was last time around when he took the race lead. So if Skep can hold this off, I mean, that's some unbelievable work here. Shout out Giacomo jumping up to third. He's on the podium at the moment, and he's got 4 fast trucks lined up behind him, 5. So he's got some work cut out to keep that podium. But, I mean, a great run there for the Jacoan boys. But championship-wise, I mean, if Skep Silver with where some of these championship runners are, I mean, I know it sounds silly. He's 93 points back, but never count out. Like I said, 93 points, 6 races to go. Get hot, you get hot. I'm just saying, it's a great time to start on a run.
And like I said, with how the season has gone, anything can happen here in these final 6 races. And Skep Silver looking to try and capitalize on what has been a pretty chaotic race here tonight from the Iowa Speedway, trying to fend off that 24 of Duncan Ward. Out of good turns 1 and 2 there. Ward fell off just a little bit from the 06 of Silver. We got 10 coming to 9 laps to go here at the Iowa Speedway. Definitely have to give a call to Bruno Giacomo there, trying to hold on to the 3rd position, but he's got a hungry Andrew Williams right behind him. We got a good run there off of turn number 4. Diving down into turn number 1. Williams going to back the center of the corner up, maybe trying to look for a run off. Up front, though, Ward not letting that 06 get away, trying to keep the pressure on. But Skep Silver doesn't look like he's been phased, and he's trying to pull away. That was not the best 3 and 4 for Duncan Ward. Skep Silver was able to pull away a couple of tenths there. Like I said, Skep Silver, he's had some good runs so far this season. He arguably could have won Michigan, but unfortunately just did not have enough fuel in the tank. Looking for redemption here tonight from Iowa, for himself and Parker Davis Enterprises. What a win this would be for Parker Davis and Skep Silver if he could pull it off. He's got 7 laps to go here at Iowa and holding a consistent, almost 4/10 lead to the 24 of Duncan Ward. Andrew Williams in the 11 is up into the 3rd position. Unfortunately, Giacomo is slipping back in that 5 machine. He's falling behind the 10 of Logan Williams. I have to see what kind of laps Andrew Williams can lay down. If he's faster than our top 2, we'll have to see. But Silver takes 6 laps to go here from Iowa, and looking to pull away from the 24 of Duncan Ward.
6 laps to finally put his name in the AG winners book, and he was, you know, a lot of people, I think, when they saw Skep Silver get signed last year, it was like, oh, you know, new face here. But he's quietly been one of the most underrated drivers, I think, in the past season and a half here. Just, I mean, he gives you consistency. He doesn't run bad. sometimes it feels like maybe he doesn't run on par with some of the other GRT guys, but he never runs bad. He never has bad races without having some sort of accident. So, I mean, he's got a second now on Duncan Ward. This is an impressive, fantastic drive from Skep. And shout out PDE. This would be a sweep of the Iowa races this year. Nathan Smith took the '06 car to victory lane when we were here in the chase. So,
Hey,
PDE, is that Iowa? Oh, it looks like Iowa is PDE country.
definitely seems like it, as Skep Silver now with a 1.3 second lead. Back to Duncan Ward coming at 2 laps to go. So like I said, what a win this would be for Skep Silver and Parker Davis Enterprises. And like you said, he's been consistently quick so far throughout the season. I think, unfortunately, he's just had a lot of bad luck, like Michigan, per se. And, fortunately, just a lot that has gotten away from him. But like I said, looking for redemption here tonight from the Iowa Speedway and down the back straightaway for the second to final time. He just got to set down one more clean lap, and he's got his first win of the season, and first win of the season for Parker Davis Enterprises. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go here in the Casey's 200 for Skep Silver. The back straightaway here for the final time, and into turns 3 and 4. Skep Silver is going to nab his first win of the season here in the Casey's 200. Silver wins here at the Iowa Speedway. What a win for Silver and Parker Davis Enterprises. Duncan Ward comes home in second. Matthew Hubert comes home in third, passing the 11 of Andrew Williams. Logan Williams is going to come home in the 5th position. Stapleton 6th. Finguy 7th. Bruno Giacomo is still going to come home with the top 10 there in 8th. Tyler Jericho comes home in 9th after starting from the back of the field. So good stuff there for him. Emily Devinetti there in the 43. Going to round out your top 10. Good stuff there for Fitzwater Australia Racing. Man, what a wild race here in the Casey's 200 here from the Iowa Speedway. And in the end, it is Skep Silver, your race winner here at Iowa. And like you mentioned, Nathan Stapleton won here in the '06 DeWalt machine in the chase. Maybe this is just the house that Parker Davis Enterprises built.
Nathan Smith. I don't think Nathan Stapleton could have won, but that would have been,
Nathan
cool
Smith
too. Yeah, I mean, I said in the pre-race, it kind of felt like, he had a great starting spot, and I really liked him heading into this race. Not just biased, I think he's been due for a win. And, yeah, I mean, this is past 2 races here on the channel. This is now turned into the house that Max Davis is building, it looks like. Was not on my bingo card, but I think that's a really cool thing to see. They've got a lot of pace in both their trucks. Sam Mendio had a decent recovery drive, which if he ends up, going to Homestead with a shot at the championship, you got to remember nights like this. I will say, I think, segueing into the championship, just taking a look at where some of these guys finished, I think we're going to start thinning the herd on some of these championship drivers, because that was a bad result for Rogel Dorn. That was a bad result for Blaine Keys. That was not a fantastic night for Aaron Abel. It was a good night for Stapleton. It was not a good night for Rutkowski, all things considered. 18th isn't end of the world, but where you started matters too. And I think Huber, Ward, and Williams, Andrew Williams, are definitely establishing themselves now late in the season as those are the guys to beat here down the stretch.
Honestly, I have to agree with you there. Williams, Hubert, and Duncan Ward, they have consistently been showing up and showing out here throughout this season. And even when the lights are brightest here tonight, they are coming out to play. And second, third, and fourth, definitely nothing to scoff at there for these guys. But tonight, they did not hold a candle to the '06 of Skep Silver. What a drive there out of that Parker Davis Enterprises Ford. And like you said, Nathan Smith won here in the Wawa Cup Series race, and now Skep Silver wins here in the Turkey Hill Truck Series race. Both driving that '06 DeWalt Ford. But what a race here tonight in the Casey's 200 here from the Iowa Speedway. and a win there for the 06 of Skip Silver. But taking a quick look here, do your official results here from tonight's race. Skip Silver, your race winner here in the Casey's 200. Duncan Ward still coming home with a second place finish. Matthew Hubert, your points leader. Looks like he might hold on to that there with a third place finish. Andrew Williams going to come home in fourth. So it's definitely, Matthew Hubert's definitely going to hold on to the points lead. Andrew Williams not going to let him get too far ahead there. Logan Williams going to bring it home there with the top 5. Nathan Stapleton brings it home in 6th. Bingai comes home 7th. Bruno Giacomo comes home 8th. Tyler Jericho 9th. And Emily Debanetti there rounds out your top 10 here in the Casey's 200 here from the Iowa Speedway. But, man, what a race here tonight from the Casey's 200. And, man, I definitely just got to ask you final thoughts here from tonight's race. And, what are you expecting as we head into these final couple races of the season, which next race is definitely going to be a very interesting one. We got the Celsius Peach Vibe 200 at the Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Yeah, I mean, Atlanta, Chicagoland up next. I will say on a my team note, definitely hoping we can rebound there. The championship's definitely starting to get driver's championship definitely starting to get a little difficult here. Still got a good shot at the constructors, and we could lock in here, you know. Martinsville will be fun, obviously. Talladega will be a wild card, and I will say that's going to be weird. You know, there's one thing I will say, you know, we've talked about some weird plate races that have happened on the channel before because of how the ratings have panned out and such and such. I have a feeling we're going to see a very strange race at Talladega, and obviously Homestead will be a finale. So it's going to be a fun stretch to the finish here this season, and I'm looking forward to it.
It should definitely be a lot of fun. And what an interesting way to start out this final 6-race stretch of the 2025 Turkey Hill Truck Series season. In the Casey's 200 here from the Iowa Speedway. But what a race here tonight. What a win for the 06 of Skip Silver, and it's definitely going to be really interesting to see how the points shake up after this one as we now head into the final 5 races of the season. But like I mentioned, next time out we're going to be at the Atlanta Motor Speedway for the Celsius Peach Vibe 200. That ought to be a very fun one. Atlanta is always usually a very fun racetrack. And that race will be going up next Saturday, November 22nd at noon Eastern Time. Definitely hope to see you all there. That one ought to be a fun one. As like mentioned, we head into the final 5 races of the season. But with all that being said, thank you all so much for tuning in here to tonight's race. Thank you so much to Matt for joining me up here in the booth. And I will see you all next time out of the Celsius Peach Vibe 200 at the Atlanta Motor Speedway next Saturday, November 22nd. At 12 p.m. Eastern Time. But until then, you all take care and have a good one. Here's your point standings after race number 13 of the season.